Tomatoes would have to be the most popular of the homegrown veggies, and why not? Fresh and sun-ripened from the garden, they are absolutely delicious, and they're pretty easy to grow. I like to grow my own plants from seed. Now, apart from the fact that it's a great way to save money, it means that I can get mine nice and advanced and get them in the ground early, which means that I can get my first crop of juicy tomatoes even sooner.
You'll need some seeds, trays to raise them in. A mini greenhouse can speed things along too. Seed raising mix, vermiculite, plant tags and marker, and some gloves. Fill the trays with mix and then gently knock them down to get rid of any air pockets. I like to water lightly too so the seeds will stick to the mix. Now carefully add one seed to each cell before gently covering with vermiculite.
Vermiculite is a natural expanded rock mineral and it is super lightweight, so that means it's really easy for your seeds to push up through as they start germinating. It's also really good at retaining moisture, so that means it's kind of like putting a layer of micro mulch on top of all your seeds.
Write your plant tag with the variety and the date planted, water gently but thoroughly, and then put in a warm sunny spot.
This spot on our front deck is just about perfect. It's protected from cold nights and wind, and when the sun's out, it's nice and warm and sunny.
If you're using a mini greenhouse on hot or sunny days, either remove the lid or open the vents. Your seeds will start to show in as little as 7 days. While you wait, get their bed prepared. The bed needs to be in full sun and preferably have some wind protection. To avoid root diseases, rotate tomato plants between beds every year.
Tomatoes are known as gross feeders. That's horticultural jargon for being hungry.
So you need to improve the soil. Add some quality bagged or homebrewed compost and cow manure. Tomato fruit are prone to a problem called blossom end rot. This is mainly caused by a shortage of calcium, so add extra as you're improving the soil. I'm adding gypsum, but you can also use garden lime or dolomite. Blend that lot through with a fork, use your rake to level, then water well. To keep your seedlings powering along, regularly liquid feed them with a suitable product and only do so at the recommended rates. On sunny days, get your seedlings out into full sun to start hardening them off and to keep them growing nice and upright.
Do make sure that they're well watered when you put them out and that they won't dry out during the day. Most varieties of tomato plants are going to need some sort of support to help them grow well. This lets the plant dedicate its energy to developing flowers and fruit rather than wasting energy on building up excessively strong stems and trunks. The support will help protect the stems and trunks from breakage, and it keeps the plant well under control. I like to put my supports in before my plants as it avoids the risk of damaging any roots.
There are excellent pre-made panel and tubular supports. These make it easy to control your plants. Or you can make your own with stakes and mesh. Make sure you use veggie mesh that has large holes. You can use most of these supports in large pots too. Once the support is in, mulch the bed. I like to use lucerne as it's fast to break down, improving the soil and adding nitrogen too. Nitrogen really helps with plant growth. Water well before and after spreading.
I put my seeds down about 8 weeks ago now, and look at these beautiful little plants. They are ready to go in the ground or a pot. Tomatoes are not hard to plant, but I do have a few tips for you. When you raise plants from seed and you do so in a traditional seedling flat, it comes time to plant and you've got to break them all apart and you'll damage a lot of those fine roots. This will slow down their development when you put them in the ground.
But when grown in cell trays, each plant is easily removed from the tray for planting, with no root damage. Pull the mulch back and dig your planting holes. You'll notice the first seed leaves on the trunk. You can put the plants in the ground with the soil up to there. Gently backfill the hole with soil, spread a suitable fertiliser, and then reposition the mulch. You might have noticed I didn't put fertiliser in the planting hole. That's because it can be too strong for young roots. I spread it on the surface around the plant instead and cover with mulch. Water in gently but thoroughly with a diluted seaweed tonic and you're done. Pots should be filled with a premium or vegetable growing potting mix, and the same planting rules apply for them too.
Now the main thing you need to do is keep them well watered. That means not too wet and not too dry. Do that and you're well on your way to your first harvest of juicy tomatoes.
The real trick is only to water as the soil beneath the mulch starts to dry out. You'll get better performance from your plants and a better harvest if you regularly liquid feed with a boosted seaweed tonic too. A big question is, should you pinch out the laterals, those side shoots, and remove the first flowers?
Look, I've tried both and honestly, I haven't found that much difference. And to be honest, I find I get fruit sooner when I don't prune out the laterals because they're the place where you often get your first flowers and obviously the fruit then develop. So really, I just prune my tomato plants to keep them under control.
You'll need to support branches, especially as they start to fruit. I like this reusable hook and loop tie. Make sure the soft side is to the stem. You can also just weave wayward branches back through the climbing frame. Keep an eye out for any pests, remove damaged fruit, and seek out low-tox organic solutions. Improve air circulation by trimming away lower dead leaves, and you may just find your first fruit hiding in there.
Now, funnily enough, these little beauties would likely have been those first flowers that some people would tell you to prune off.
Leave fruit on the vine to sun ripen and only pick it when it's ready for eating and cooking. And most of all, enjoy your harvest.